everybody. Welcome to Petra's Happy Place. Today I have the same shawl. This is crochet. I'm not going to talk crochet right now though, okay? This is going to be a little book talk. Okay, for those of you that are newer to my channel, I love three things, okay? Number one in my life is Jesus. And I try to talk about him, or at least mention that he's gifted me with all these things. However, I also love crochet and reading. And my happy place is here within the confines of my yarn and my crochet things. But another happy place that if I can have these two together, it's the bomb. But it is reading. I love to read. My love of reading started when I was only 4 years old, and Mom and Dad put me in kindergarten. And I was one of those that went to kindergarten at the age of 4 because my birthday's in September, and Dad said, no, my child is going into kindergarten at the age of 4 and not waiting until the next year, even though the cutoff date was August 31st. So I'm glad he did that. I really am glad because I loved school. I was one of those crazy kids. I loved school. I loved going to school. And when I wasn't in school, much to the chagrin of my brother, I played school at home. During the summer, one of my favorite things to do was play school. And I lined up all my stuffed animals, and my brother was sitting among them. Now, he is 2.5 years younger than me, and he had to do what he was told because I was the teacher. That's just the way it was. So anyway, I loved reading. And when I was in kindergarten, I'll tell you how much I loved to read. My teachers had to pry me away from the bookshelf. There was like a small bookshelf. Can you imagine this little four-year-old little girl in her pigtails sitting down on the carpet in front of the bookshelf, just with all the books around her? And she was just like in heaven. The teachers had to pry me away to do finger painting. What is that all about? If I wanted to make a mess, I'd go in my mama's kitchen and help her bake. I wanted to read. Well, now, Mom and Dad were always good about making sure there were books in the house. And I know this is a long story, and I'm so sorry, but you need to know these things. This is part of who I am, part of my happy place. So, I was a very, very bad girl in kindergarten because what I ended up doing was I kept telling my mom about this one book that the kindergarten teacher had, and I wanted it. And Mom kept saying, well, you'll just have to wait and you go to school, and then you can read it while you're there. And I said, but I want it at home. I want to read it more. So what did this little Petra do? Little Petra took the book home with her, took it off of the shelf, put it in her coat, and took it home, walked home with it in her little coat. Yes, I did. I am not ashamed. Nobody was going to guilt me into not wanting to read. So, I, of course, got disciplined because Mom and Dad did not recognize that particular book as being part of the ones that they had bought for me. And I was quickly disciplined, aka spanked. And I had to go back the next day to the kindergarten class and apologize to my teacher and the whole class. That's where the love of reading came from. And my mom used to tell me stories. Anyway, okay, so I love reading. Okay, Stephen James, right now, I love three authors, four authors that are like, Stephen James, Ted Dekker, Jane Austen, and, his name just flipped by. I'm thinking James something. If I remember it, I'll let you know. You would think I would know. Romeo's Fight. Oh, I can't remember. Okay, so anyway, there's another one too. He's like fourth. Okay, so I just got reading Sense and Sensibility. Now, this is like the second time I've read through it. I have watched 3 of the versions, the televised or visual versions, I don't know, movies, miniseries, whatever you want to call them. I have watched 3 of them. There is only one, in my humble opinion, that is true to the actual story. And can I just say, I am so hurt. Now, the only reason I think that I'm hurt is because I keep forgetting that this is Jane Austen's first work. It's her first published work. And she really disappointed me. I mean, really disappointed me. Because there's a line in the movie of my favorite version of the movie that is used, and it sends chills up my spine. Y'all, chills, okay? And it's like, I know it's coming. And he says it, and I'm going, oh, and it doesn't hurt that it's Hugh Grant that says it. But anyway, I was like, oh, I get chills up and down my arms and my back, and the hair on my neck stand up, and I'm like, oh, say it to me. She never wrote those words. She should have. I'm very disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Have you read Sense and Sensibility? No, I don't want to say you don't read it, because it's a great story. I mean, it's a great story. It starts off about money and how money shapes all these people, and then at the very end, how money, the same people that thought money was such a big, fat, hairy deal, get twisted. And their whole way of thinking about money just makes them more depraved. And those that want love get it in the end. And love prevails over money. I just love that. Okay, for those of you that have never read, now I know somebody who has told me in the comment section that she's never watched a Jane Austen movie. And I am going to issue a challenge to Laura from Mad Mimi Crochet and Farming that one evening she is going to find a Jane Austen movie, and she is going to find it on, I don't know, Netflix, I don't care. In her library, I don't know where she would find it, but you will find a copy, Miss Laura, and you're going to watch any movie about one of Jane Austen's books. And I want to have a serious discussion with you, young lady. Tell me what you think. Okay, Sense and Sensibility. Let's see. Here are some topics that are covered that may interest any of you out there. Age difference. Yeah, you have to understand this is in the Regency era, and men were much older than the women. I mean, I say women, and the women that were getting married were like 16, 17. I mean, they were young. The oldest, oh, heaven forbid, was like 22 or 23. I mean, woo! She was getting to be an old maid. Anywho, men were generally much older than the women. So it tackles that. It tackles betrayal. It tackles family expectations. You know, when family expects something of you and your heart is going in a different direction. It discusses gossip and how gossip hurts, and what else does it? It talks about being flighty and jumping into relationships that are might have like a fairy tale, butterflies in your stomach. I mean, it just is, it just is like the best feeling in the world, as opposed to stable, secure, long-lasting, will walk through fire kind of love, a deep love. Not that there's anything wrong with fairy tale, as long as the fairy tale doesn't end and they live happily ever after, because we all know that is just a lie from the pit of hell. I'm just saying, it is. So, anyway, you guys need to read this, okay? You need to read this book. Or any of her books, okay? If you want to read, like I said, this is her first book. So I think maybe she was cutting her teeth on this one. So maybe don't read this one first, but please read a Jane Austen. It takes a lot to get into. I know it's not an easy read. It's not a one-day read, or I'm going to sit down and read it overnight. It's not that one of those kind of books. You want to savor it, and oh goodness. And, okay, so for quotable quotes, for some fun, you can read Emma, Mansfield, don't read Mansfield Park. Emma, Pride and Prejudice, and Persuasion. Those three, top. Emma is more lighthearted, more fun, more, I don't know. People have a love-hate relationship with Emma. Some people love her character. I happen to be one of those that loves her character only because it reminds me of me. And there are some people that hate Emma's character. That's okay. You're just saying you hate me. Big deal. I'm just teasing. So she's more fanciful. She's more, she's young and she acts young. She's more of naive. She's more naive. Okay, she doesn't act childlike. She's more naive, but she has the biggest heart, and she loves family more than anything else. And that is a wonderful story. Pride and Prejudice. Okay, you all, I know somebody's watched something of Pride and Prejudice. If you want, now this is my opinion, again, this is my opinion. The one that holds truest to the book is going to be the version with, I know, I love him. Oh, gosh. Colin Firth, okay? And Jennifer Eel. That is the one that is truest to the actual manuscript that Jane Austen wrote, okay? So, okay, if you want to watch the movie, that's the one, or the book, okay? And, okay, for me, okay, y'all, listen. Have a pencil or a pen or a highlighter or a colored pencil ready to go when you start reading Pride and Prejudice, because it has the best lines in it. I mean, some whoppers too. Okay, that's a good one. Same with Emma. Okay, Emma has some good ones in there too. And for those of you that like, it's not dark. Okay, it's not dark at all, but it's deep. Okay, it goes really deeper into the psyche of a woman who listens to her father and her godmother instead of listening to her heart, and how that turned her entire world upside down, and it drove those that she loved away. And oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful read. And if you want to watch the movie, oh, you've got to watch the movie. You just got to watch the movie. And the one with, oh gosh, who plays the character? I always get them mixed up. Alan Rickman played in Sense and Sensibility. Okay, so if you like Alan Rickman, you need to watch that version. But anyway, please, I want to hear about all of your ideas about Sense and Sensibility and Emma, and tell me what you thought of Elizabeth and Jane's decisions, and Lydia. Oh, scandalous girl. Yeah, and Anne. How much do you love Anne? And how much she puts up with? Patience of a saint, y'all. Patience of a saint. Okay, that's all I have for this week's book talk, okay? I've already got my next book. Would you like to see what it is? So here's my next book. I had picked this up a long time ago, Mary Higgins Clark, all by myself alone. I adore Mary Higgins Clark, and I have read not all of her like in the last 7 or 8 years, but every book that she's written I have read, and I have loved and adored this woman's writing for years. So I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to be reading it this week, and maybe I'll have it done and I can do a book talk about it next week. Wouldn't that be fun? I really would like to do a book talk once a week, because that is part of Petra's Happy Place. Bye.